I got home late from an installation job, stepped into the mudroom, and peeled off my boots. The house smelled like roasted chicken mixed with lemon, the kind of smell that tells you someone planned ahead. The dining table was already set. Low, warm lights. Soft jazz playing from her small speaker on the counter. Sarah stood by the stove, holding a spatula like she was hosting a game show. "Well, look who finally decided to eat," she said. Hands washed. "What is this, a visit from the health department?" I hung my jacket and glanced around the kitchen. Everything was lined up just right. Salad sitting in clear glass bowls. Bread tucked into a basket and covered with a clean towel. It all looked a little too perfect. "It's called effort," she said, leaning in to give me a quick kiss on the cheek. It felt practiced, like muscle memory. "Sit down." I kept everything warm. I dropped into my chair and shook my head. "Looks like you hit the jackpot on one of those decorating websites." She laughed like I had said something clever. Or maybe like she wanted me to think I had. Or maybe I love you and know you forget to eat when you work late. I watched her move around the kitchen. Calm, organized, cheerful. She had always been that way, but lately her cheer felt coated, like a shiny glaze on a donut you are not sure you trust. She set the plate in front of me. "You are spoiling me," I said. "I should," she answered, pouring sparkling water into our glasses. No wine. She was on one of her clean weeks. While we ate, I tried again. "I was thinking about joining you at the gym. Maybe 3 nights a week. Start slow. Try not to embarrass myself." Her fork froze in midair, then tapped the plate once. "Babe, I really do not want to be washed while I sweat. That place is my quiet zone." "I can stay on the other side," I said. "Headphones on. You would not even notice me." She smiled, gentle but firm. "I get weird about my form. It feels awkward with you there. Please." "Awkward with me?" I half smiled. "I have seen you try to fix the garbage disposal with salad tongs. Pride left this marriage a long time ago." She flicked her napkin at me. "I am serious." Then she flipped back to cheerful. "I will help you work out at home. Push-ups, resistance bands, all of it." "That sounds like solitary confinement," I said, keeping my tone light. "Working out together sounded fun." "It is not a couple thing for me," she said. Her voice stayed bright, but the message landed hard. "Do not take it personally. If I had known where that road was going, I would not have pushed. Or maybe I would have pushed twice as hard." The next morning she was already dressed in leggings, tying her shoes, her ponytail pulled high. She kissed my forehead while I poured coffee. "I will be back around 10 o'clock, she said. "You good?" "I am always good," I told her. "I just do not love being shut out of the church of cardio." "It is not shutting you out. It is boundaries," she said, laughing like it was adorable. "Bye, coach." The door closed and the house went quiet. I stood there holding coffee I did not want, thinking thoughts I did not like. A woman who loves you does not keep her workout secret like a private club. Or maybe she does, if that club has a bouncer. I set the mug down and made my first change. I stopped trying to line up our schedules. I told my crew I would take early installation shifts and cut my evenings at home down to 2 set nights a week. I was done waiting around for open time. I told my foreman, "Mike, put me wherever you need me." He looked at me and asked, "You and Sarah doing all right?" "We are fine," I said. "I am done chasing fog." That night, when Sarah came home glowing and talkative, I did not ask about sets or routines. I checked the freezer in the garage, took stock of what we had, and paid 2 bills that had been sitting on the hall table for days. She walked in while I was clicking through the screen. "You are on the laptop again? It is dinner, not tax season." "Bills," I said calmly. "I am separating automatic payments. I will cover the mortgage, utilities, my truck, and our insurance. Your personal stuff goes on your card." She blinked. "Since when?" "Since now," I said. "It keeps things clean. Less gray area." "That sounds cold." "It sounds grown-up." She stood there a moment too long, then relaxed. "You are right. I have been scattered lately. Thank you for keeping us steady." She wrapped her arms around my neck. "I really appreciate you." The words were right, but something about the delivery stuck in my head. On Saturday, we went to my friend Jason's backyard for his kid's birthday. Paper plates, juice boxes, folding chairs. Real American stuff. Sarah showed up with a gym bag in the trunk, planning to leave after cake. Jason slapped my shoulder. "You two are disgustingly functional." "We do our best," I said. Sarah overheard us and jumped in. "I keep him from surviving on takeout and socket wrenches." "Hey," I said with half a smile. Socket wrenches keep roofs from falling in. She smirked. They do not keep shirts buttoned. Jason laughed. Fair point. You going to the gym with her yet? She likes working out alone, I said. Jason lifted an eyebrow. Sarah took a sip of sparkling water. He makes me self-conscious. He stares. I do not stare, I said. You count reps out loud like an old football coach. She tossed it out like a joke, light and sharp at the same time. Two moms nearby laughed. My jaw stayed still. I have never been to your gym with you, Sarah, I said flat. Figure of speech, she said, brushing it off. She patted my chest. He is harmless. Kevin looked back and forth between us. He has never been good at hiding confusion. Well, he said, lifting his cup, here's to being harmless. I set my plastic cup down on the table. I turned toward the small group standing around us. Quick note, friends, I said, steady and calm. My time is not a punchline. I do not come to people's homes to get labeled like a puppy. I did not raise my voice. I did not add heat. Then I turned to Sarah. This part is just for us. If you have feedback about me, bring it to me, not to an audience. She blinked once, then smiled like I had just pulled off a magic trick. Oh wow, big man speech. Boundary, I said. Put a ribbon on it. The smile stayed, but something moved behind her eyes, quick and unreadable. 10 minutes later, as we walked toward the car, she reached out and touched my arm. I did not mean anything by it. I know exactly what you meant, I said. I just drew a line. She slid into the passenger seat. You made it a whole scene in front of people. You made it public, I answered. I closed it. She stared out the window for a moment, then softened again. It was a familiar turn. You are right. I was careless. I will watch it. She said it like she was offering me a prize. You want to do brunch tomorrow? My treat. Sure, I said. Sunday morning she made pancakes, brought coffee to bed, and walked around the kitchen in one of my old shirts like a sitcom wife from a channel nobody watches anymore. I accepted the show with a smirk and a raised eyebrow. Nice move. Message received. The next 2 weeks settled into a pattern. Gym every evening. Firm boundaries. Then sweetness whenever I enforced one. Each time, I responded by changing one more thing that mattered to me, not to her. I started locking my office door when I worked. I stopped texting during her gym hours. I quit waiting for her to decide on dinner. I ate when I was hungry, even if that meant eating alone. It was not punishment. It was structure. She tried humor to take the room back. At a small get-together with neighbors, she laughed about how helpless I used to be with laundry and how she had trained me. People smiled because that is what people do. I looked straight at her. Do not make me your project in public, I said. I am not a story you tell to sound clever. She put her hand on my wrist. Relax, hero. It is humor. It is status, I said, and I will not be your prop. After that, the joke stopped. Her gym time increased. Then work stepped in. I handled commercial installation jobs. We landed a data center project in Missouri. 2 weeks, maybe less, I told Sarah at the kitchen island. I fly out Thursday. Back the following week if it goes smooth. Her eyes flicked side to side, calculating. Then she smiled too fast. Wow, that is big for you. Are you excited? Not really, I said. I like our bed. She laughed, then caught herself, then smiled even wider. You will do great. The house is fine with me. I did not say the house was not fine. I mean, I have got it, she added quickly. You do not need to worry. I will get ahead on the closets. Maybe paint the guest room if I feel brave. Do not, I said. Leave the paint. Bossy, she teased, but her energy was brighter than the news deserved. That night, she came home glowing from the gym and folded laundry beside me on the couch. Want me to pack your socks? She asked. I can find them. She tucked a pair into my suitcase anyway. Let me do something. You could let me come with you to the gym, I said. She rolled her eyes. Friendly on the surface, bored underneath. Still on that. I'm not on it, I said. I remember it. You are leaving Thursday, she said. Let me have this. She kissed my cheek and held it longer than usual. I let it happen. I watched her eyes when she pulled away. She smiled like a nurse finishing a shift. Wednesday night, the night before my flight, I set my own rules. I split our household account into 2 sub-accounts. Mortgage and utilities in one. Her monthly allowance in another. I printed my itinerary and left a copy on the refrigerator. Plain. Boring. I took the spare key that lived on the grill side table and put it in my pocket. I did not put it back. I walked next door to check in with my neighbor, Amy, a sharp-tongued nurse who had joked for years that our cul-de-sac gave her more material than the hospital. "You want me to keep an eye on the place?" she asked. "I am great with plants and nosy old ladies." "Water the rosemary," I said. "Ignore the old ladies. If something looks off, text me." "So normal," she said. I left it there. At the airport, Sarah called. "Send me a selfie." I sent a picture with a straight face, my bag behind me. She sent back a heart and a flexed arm emoji like a teenager. I laughed alone. By noon the next day, we were installing racks. The only part of travel I enjoy is the work. It is honest. Cables do not lie. Friday around 9 in the morning, my phone buzzed. It was Amy. "This is not my business," the message read. Maybe I should not say anything. "But a really muscular guy went into your house yesterday. He has not left." I stared at the screen. It did not knock the wind out of me. It just froze everything in place. I typed a reply. Deleted it. Typed again. I texted her back. "Thanks for telling me. It could be a contractor, then again it might not be. If it is safe, could you grab a couple of photos through the glass?" She replied almost immediately. "James Bond. I am in." I went back to work. I stayed focused. 30 minutes later, 3 photos came through. My living room. My couch. Sarah was curled up against a man I recognized. I had seen him once at her gym, the day I brought her water and waited in the lobby. He looked settled, like he paid the bills. Her hand rested across his chest. His shoes sat by my coffee table. There was a plate with crumbs on it, like they had eaten together and did not rush. I stood in the server room and breathed. Not anger. Not panic. Math. Amy messaged again. "Almost got spotted. Would have been a mess. Not the time. Also, you owe me dinner." Without thinking, I typed, "I will kiss you when I get back. You saved me." She replied with a laughing face and a fork and knife emoji. I put the phone face down. The cables in front of me were quiet and patient. I called someone I trusted. David, a lawyer who had helped me years ago with a contractor dispute. "I need paperwork," I said. "Clean. Fast. Everything correct." "Send me what you have," he said. "Pictures. Full names. Property details. We can start immediately. You will need to sign in person at the end. I will be back in about a week and a half." "That works," he said. "Keep your head straight. Do your job." So I did my job. Nothing had happened that changed my work. At night, my phone kept lighting up. Amy sent short updates. "They are grilling in the backyard. He is wearing your apron. I am not joking." Then a photo from her upstairs window. 2 figures at my grill. One of my old shirts hanging off the hook. Smoke rising. A beer bottle resting on the rail. I felt something close to amusement at how bold it was. I texted back, "You are a menace. Keep a low profile." She answered, "I am a professional menace." I could hear her laughing through the words. The next morning, another message. They went running together. "He swatted at your rosemary plant because a bee bothered him." I wanted to hiss through the glass myself. I did not. I thanked her and promised something ridiculous about a steakhouse when I got back. She said all she wanted was a good story and one night without standing on her feet. I worked. I ate. I slept. David kept me updated. The documents would be ready when I landed. He only needed my signature to lock down what could be finalized without noise. Tuesday night, another message from Amy. "He carried a bag in through your front door?" She did not even look around. Bold. I wrote, "You are doing more than you signed up for." She replied, "I prefer you less clueless. Call it neighborhood maintenance." Thursday night, alone in my hotel room, the air conditioner clicking like a metronome, Sarah called. Her voice was bright and sweet. "Hey, traveler. How is Missouri?" "Cables everywhere," I said. "You good?" "So good," she said. "I have been sleeping on your side of the bed to pretend you are here." Silly, right? "Adorable," I said, flat enough that she should have felt the tilt. "Do not be grumpy. I made a roast. I will freeze you a portion." "Thoughtful," I said. "I have an early call. Get some rest." "I miss you," she said softly. "Bye," I said. I stared at the ceiling after the call ended. Illusion number 2. Extra sweetness. When she felt boundaries, she did not change my next step. I opened the airline application and confirmed my Saturday morning flight. I texted David my arrival time. I told Amy, landing Saturday. The barbecue champions better be gone. She wrote back, "Copy that. I will have popcorn just in case." Saturday morning, I landed, shook David's hand in his small office, and signed the papers. He explained timelines while he stacked copies. I did not need the lecture, I told him. I needed paper. He handed me the folder. It is straightforward, he said. Your accounts are clean. The property title works in your favor. Good, I said. I am going home. On the drive back, I felt more awake than I had in months. There is peace in choosing. I pulled onto our street in the middle of the afternoon. Amy was on her porch with a coffee mug. She stood when she saw my truck and lifted the mug like a toast. I nodded once and parked in my own driveway. Sarah opened the door before I reached it. She wore jeans and a soft sweater, barefoot, hair curled like it was Sunday morning. You are early, she said, arms opening wide. Surprise me. Where is he? I asked. She blinked. No, hello. The guy from your gym, I said. He can go out the back if he is shy. Her face stayed calm. You sound unwell. I held up my phone. Do I? She tilted her head like a therapist. What are you talking about? You have been gone. Are you okay? I walked past her into my living room. The couch cushions were fluffed too high. The throw blankets folded sharp and tight. The coffee table held a faint water ring that was not mine. I set my bag down. I placed the folder on the table. This is me, I said. Choosing. She stepped toward me, voice soft and careful. You are tired. Travel messes with your head. You are looking for drama because the road gets lonely. I did not raise my voice. I did not step back. I let the silence answer her. Stop. I slid the top photo out of the stack and laid it flat on the table. It showed her curled into him on my couch, her hand across his chest, her face calm, comfortable, like she belonged there. She stared at the picture. Then she looked at me. Then she let out a short laugh through her nose. So Amy actually told you, she said. Her lips curled. I was wondering who would end up playing spy. She did, I said. She earned herself a dinner. Unbelievable, she muttered, shaking her head. Not at herself. At the situation. How bored do you have to be? Good question, I said. What do you think happens now? She lifted her chin. We stopped being dramatic. You stopped trying to control my gym time. You came back. I am here. We move on. Move on, I repeated. That is your plan. She smiled, cool and certain. You are not leaving. Do not be ridiculous. I opened the folder, pulled the papers out, and placed them in front of her. Laugh if you need to, I said. When you are done, start packing. You are not staying. Her smile locked up, then fell apart. You talked to someone. I did, I said. Started while you were testing the smoke alarm on my grill. That is not fair, she shot back. You are right, I said. Fair is gone. There is only respect. She stared at the papers like they were a prank someone forgot to explain. You cannot expect me to just leave. I do not expect anything from you, I said. I am telling you how this works now. You have 2 hours. Call a ride. She crossed her arms. You will regret this. I regret ignoring the small signs, I said. 2 hours. Her voice softened. I made dinners. I kept the house running. I took care of you. You used the house like a hotel, I said. And yes, you cooked. I can cook. What I do not do is keep other men upstairs afterward. You do not know what you think you know. Then sue me for slander from the sidewalk, I said. 2 hours. She stepped closer, trying a new angle. We have history. I have standards, I said. Her eyes flicked toward the hallway, measuring. You would really throw me out? No throwing, I said. You walk out with your things. I picked up her gym bag and set it on the chair so she could see it clearly. That is a good place to start. She laughed once, sharp, like an old mask snapping back into place. You are not that guy. I am now, I said. We stared at each other for a long moment. Then she turned and stormed toward the bedroom. Drawers opened and slammed. Hangers scraped the rod. I stepped onto the porch. Amy stood by her low fence, arms crossed. Do I need popcorn or pepper spray? She asked. Neither, I said. Just a timer. How long? 1 hour and 54 minutes. She grinned like she had been waiting all week for something interesting. Got it. Want me to borrow a dolly from Brian for boxes? I am feeling helpful. Let her carry her own things, I said. Good workout. Sarah came out with a suitcase and a bag. She looked past me at Amy like we were plotting together. You happy? She snapped. Amy took a slow sip of her coffee. I am very into neighborhood cleanliness. Sarah turned back to me. I was bored, she said suddenly. Not apologetic. Proud. You work too much. You are predictable. I needed something lively. And you needed me to pay for it, I said. You chose convenience over courage. Now choose a ride. She rolled the suitcase down the steps. Halfway to the curb, She turned and fired one last shot. Do not get attached to this house. You will see me again. If you are delivering a package, leave it on the porch, I said. Otherwise, keep walking. She left. No tears. No apology. Just her chin high and her phone already at her ear. I stood there as the street went quiet again. Amy let out a long breath. Clean, she said. A little rough, but clean. Not rough, I said. Precise. You okay? She asked. I am precise, I said. That is the head I need right now. I went inside, grabbed a garment bag, and changed in the bedroom. Suit. White shirt. Shoes that clicked on the floor. I looked like a man headed to a promotion dinner, which felt about right. A promotion out of nonsense. 10 minutes later, I knocked on Amy's door. She opened it wearing leggings, an oversized sweatshirt, hair in a messy bun. Her eyes widened. Oh, she said, looking me over. Did I miss a formal event? You're not dressed. I asked. We are doing dinner. Her mouth opened, then curved into a smile. You are serious. Do you want me to book a place or trust you? I asked. I have been nosy all week, she said. You pick. Give me 15, she said, stepping aside. I waited in her small living room that smelled like clean laundry and cinnamon. She came back wearing a simple dark dress, flats, small earrings, standing straighter than before. Well, she said. Do I get a compliment or a shrug? You look like trouble I can explain to my mother, I said. Let us go. We drove to a place with white tablecloths and no piano. The kind of restaurant you choose when you are serious. The hostess saw the suit and forgot to ask if we had a reservation. We sat. Water glasses landed on the table. Amy leaned in. Before we start, are you sure you want to be out tonight? I do not need to decompress, I said. I decompress by moving forward. She nodded. I respect that. We ordered food that did not require thought. Forks. Plates. Real dinner. The rhythm settled in easy. So, Amy said, resting her elbows on the table. When did you know? A week before I left town, I said. Not the first red flag. Just the first time I stopped pretending I did not see it. I did not want to be the neighbor who wrecks a marriage, she said. That story is old. You did not wreck anything, I told her. You turned on a light. Whatever was moving in the dark was already there. She tapped her glass with a fingernail. You are not angry. Oh, I am angry, I said. But anger makes me sloppy. I prefer results. That was a result, she said. We ate. We talked about regular things. Work stories. Family summaries. How much television we all pretend not to watch. Somewhere in the middle of a sentence, my phone lit up. Unknown number. I flipped it face down and kept talking. Amy noticed. She nodded once. Good. At the end of the meal, she leaned back. I was going to say dinner was enough for now, but that was before the suit. So dinner is not enough? I guessed. It is enough, she said, smiling slow. It is just not the end. You want a second date written down? I asked. I want you to say out loud that this is not rebound theater, she said. I like you, but I am not a plank you walk across to get back to shore. You are the shore, I said. The plank was paperwork. She laughed and shook her head. Corny, but acceptable. I drove her home. On her porch, she looked at me. You said dinner was enough to start, she said. This is only the start, right? Of course, I said. Only the start. We did not rush inside like teenagers. We said goodnight like grown people. I walked back to my place, took the trash out even though it was not full, and slept alone with the windows cracked open. The night air felt honest. The week after, I finished what I started. I changed the codes on the smart locks. I set the camera alerts to notify both my phone and Amy's, in case I missed something while I was on a ladder. I told David to file and send whatever needed to be filed and sent. I called Sarah's mother. She was a blunt woman who had always liked me, right up until liking me required effort. I wanted you to hear this from me, I said. We are done. Final on my end. She can pick up a few boxes Thursday at noon if she schedules with me. Otherwise, they go into storage under her name. Her sigh was long and unhappy. I warned her, she said. She brought a torch. I am not standing near the fire, I said. I will tell her, she replied. Sarah texted twice. Slippery, dramatic messages. We are overreacting. We can fix this. That house is not yours alone. I replied once. Thursday at noon or storage. Choose. She chose silence. Thursday at 12:10, Amy and I stood in my driveway when a rideshare pulled up. Sarah stepped out wearing sunglasses, lips tight. She took 2 boxes Amy had helped label and loaded them into the trunk. No talking. No scene. She looked at Amy like she had swallowed something sour. Then she looked at me. You will regret trying to play the hero. I am not trying, I said. I am succeeding. She got in the car. The door shut. It drove away. I checked the time. 12:15. Clean. I kept doing my job, and my life filled back in where it had been stretched thin. I showed up early at work. I stayed late for the dirty jobs nobody wanted. Crawl spaces. Attics. Fixing what the last guy messed up. I slept. I ran without announcing it. I cooked my own dinners in a kitchen that finally felt like mine again. Amy and I found a rhythm without ceremony. Evenings on our porches. Lunches during her hospital breaks when I was nearby. Sunday grocery runs that made us look married to strangers. She was funny without needing permission. She pushed back when I earned it and stayed quiet when I needed that instead. I liked both. Word traveled through the neighborhood the way it always does. Dogs on leashes. Trash cans at the curb. I did not explain myself. I did not pick sides. I lived with my door closed. People understand a closed door better than they admit. A month later, Sarah tried once more. She showed up early on a Saturday morning with a bakery box and a look I recognized from 100 social media posts. The face of a second chance. I opened the door a few inches. Amy was visible behind me in the kitchen, pouring coffee. Sarah lifted the box. I brought cinnamon rolls. Remember the place you love? I do not eat sugar in the morning, I said. You used to, she said, smile pinned on. Used to is not now, I said. She leaned to peek past me. Oh, cute. Do you need something? I asked. I am here to talk like adults, she said. You were rash. No, I said. She tried to speak again. No, I repeated. This is not a vote. It is a concluded project. She stared, then set the box on the porch railing like an offering. You will regret this when you calm down. I already did, I said. That is what this is. She made a face, then took a breath like she was lining up her final move. I will see you around. You will, I said. At the hardware store. At stop signs. Wherever people exist. You will not be in my house, my accounts, or my plans. I closed the door. That was the only difference that mattered. She stood there waiting for a reaction that never came. When she realized she was not getting one, she turned, walked to her car, and drove away for the last time. I picked up the bakery box and handed it to Amy. These any good? I asked. I will bring them to the nurse's station, she said. Sugar is their religion. In early fall, David sent the final paperwork in a thick envelope. Clean. Tight. Finished. No claim on the house. No extra money pulls. No loose ends beyond what she had already taken. It did not feel like winning. It felt like math. The news spread the way it always does in families. Quietly, then all at once. Her sister unfollowed me without a word. A cousin sent a single-sentence apology, which told me exactly how much they knew. Friends who used to laugh with us over burgers sent messages about respect and keeping your head straight. A few admitted they had suspected something, but stayed quiet. I wrote back. You were not married to me. It was not your job. Then I set the phone down and went to work. When the leaves started to turn, I took Amy to a small cabin upstate. We ate burgers by a lake. We read different books on the same couch. We drove home on back roads because the highway felt like a line I did not need to stand in. On the drive back, she glanced over at me. You ever going to put a label on us? She asked. Half joking, half serious. I thought we did the night you made me throw out the chipped plates, I said. That was practical, she said. So is this, I said. You are my partner. And if I ever propose, it will be after the new porch is built. I am not dropping to one knee on splinters. You are ridiculous, she said. But she smiled the whole rest of the drive. 2 months later, in front of that new porch with smooth boards and a railing I measured twice, I asked her. She said yes like it was obvious. We kept it small. Real vows. No champagne fountain. The neighbor kids threw bird seed and stole half the cupcakes. It felt like a home should feel. Not perfect. Solid. As for Sarah, she moved around. A sublet. Then her parents placed 2 counties over. Then back with them when rent stopped making sense. Someone mentioned she was working nights at a restaurant, not out front. It fit. That kind of work eats patience and gives back dirty water. The people who used to toast with her in our backyard slowly stopped clicking on her pages. Algorithms do not care about slow declines. I did not watch. I did not need updates. She wanted comfort without cost. She lost both. That was the only math I cared about. If you ask me what I learned, I keep it simple. A man can appreciate dinner on the table and candles in the living room and still refuse to be made small. You are not required to trade dignity for warmth. You set rules. You enforce them. You do it quietly, and you do it once. Months later, long after it was done, Sarah texted me out of nowhere. No greeting. Just 2 words. I miss you. I typed 3 words and did not send them. I deleted those and sent 2 different ones. Wrong number. I put the phone face down and tightened a loose bolt on the porch chair that had started to wobble. Amy came out wearing a sweatshirt, handed me a socket wrench, and smirked. You and your tools, she said. They keep roofs on, I said. She leaned on the railing. Dinner at my place. I am making pasta. Better than roasted chicken? I asked. Depends on who is eating it, she said. Lucky guy, I said. She rolled her eyes and went inside. I finished the chair, washed my hands, and followed her. Not because I was hungry, but because my life was mine again, and I planned to keep it that way.